Hi everyone and welcome to this new podcast. Today we decided to come to a studio, so I'm very happy to host Florence today. This podcast is made to feature women in Web3, and I really love to interview women all around the world and learn about their projects, what they do, their journey in the space. Today we have Florence here with us. Florence is deeply passionate about the intersection of Bitcoin, law and finance, and she brings a unique perspective as someone working crossroad of regulation and digital assets. We will dive into your first-hand experience at the conference that you went recently in the US, in Las Vegas, the Bitcoin conference, and how is it different from the European landscape. Really looking forward to hear about your thoughts and what are the ideas that you bring back from Las Vegas. So thank you very much for being with us, Florence. I'm very happy about it. And let's get started. So Florence, I will ask you, how was the Bitcoin conference? So it took place in Las Vegas, but when you arrived, how did it feel? How was the vibe? Can you tell us a little bit about the Bitcoin conference itself?
Thank you already to having me here in the podcast. I'm really enthusiastic about speaking about the Bitcoin conference. I actually arrived a day before, and it was a bit by coincidence that we arrived there and we, bought our tickets. And it was actually a good idea because the day afterwards, it was so crowded, so many people. The energy was really amazing. And when you look at the people that attended the conference, you had families with kids, you had people who worked in listed companies, in small and medium sized companies, you had interested people like me or lawyers, any type of person that were so excited to be there.
That's amazing. I love those events where you see many profiles and where you see that the interest from come different angles. So that's very interesting to hear that you had that feeling also overseas at the Bitcoin conference. And in terms of agenda, what was the agenda of the conference? How was it? Was it also diverse?
Well, first, I have to say it was a Bitcoin conference, so it was really only about Bitcoin. And they really make the difference between Bitcoin and the rest. Although it's true that they were also talking about stable coins, but that was really an exception. Regarding topics, I was really amazed by the diversity of topics. First of all, it was not really into regulation and into law. It was really more into creation, innovation, trying to create a better world. That is the first distinction that I saw directly from Europe. And content-wise, what I was really amazed is the diversity of content. There was a panel on mining and the impact of Bitcoin on the environment. There was another one called the enterprise stage, where you had a panel with small and medium-sized companies explaining how Bitcoin helped them build a more resilient company. You also had a panel with people with Michael Seiler, J.D. Vance, so all those very high-profile people, and as well a panel on how Bitcoin can help women or men in distress situation. Really, it was amazing how Bitcoin could actually make the work better.
It's fascinating because as I hear, you respond to different interests with those different panels. And so everyone can find something that they would like to attend, a panel that they would like to attend. And as you said, there was like a diverse mix of profiles also in the people. So having this diverse agenda also makes sense. It's talking to everyone. That's the end goal, I think, is that it's them that wants to be open and to be inclusive and to address different types of topics.
Yes, exactly. And there was this woman called Natalie Brunel, who was also a journalist, and she actually published a book called Bitcoin for Everyone,
Okay.
and she presented the book at the conference. And I thought the title was really great, and it's something that I'm now using when I explain Bitcoin to other people. And to make a comment about her, she really is promoting women in the Bitcoin ecosystem, and she organized a woman Bitcoin brunch,
Okay.
and it was actually amazing. I had the possibility to join. It was on the first day in the morning, and it was a smaller gathering of women with also different profile. On my right, there was someone, a professional, sportive person, and on my left was someone working as strategy. So very two different kind of women on the professional level, and it made me feel more comfortable, and it was really the perfect opening for me then to move forward to the conference.
That's very interesting. And it's true that networking really helps also to enter a conference and feel confident in a conference. So, in terms of networking, who were the people that you met?
Well, everyone was there. I'm following a lot of people on X, and I could talk to them and speak to them. People were really open. Like, I was really surprised. So I met Adam Bach. I met Max Kaiser in the elevator, actually. He loves France and he speaks French, and I was speaking French in the elevator, and he started to talk to me. It was really nice. Of course, we saw Michael Saylor from a bit afar, but still, I went to his speech. His last keynotes was so inspiring. After actually the keynote, I was like, okay, now I want to only work on Bitcoin and really find something where I can do law and Bitcoin and really have a laser eyes, like he always says. uh, I also met Grant Cardone, which was for me quite impressive because he's also in the real estate sector, which is an activity that I like very much. And he actually made a speech about how real estate and Bitcoin can actually merge and be a business model that can be even more prosperous than just having a real estate company. I thought was amazing.
That's already many people that you met and you got inspired from. And it seems that like the community in the US is different from the EU side. I would like to get your impression on how this US Bitcoin community has a stronger freedom first culture compared to our Europe more cautious or regulated approach.
For sure, Americans are much more freedom first. It seems that is the most important in their life to fight for freedom. So this is the first impression that you have when you enter the conference, that's for sure. The second thing that I saw as a lawyer that really made me think quite a lot afterwards is there was a panel for lawyers, and it was on the first day, actually, in the afternoon. In a corner, there were like quite not many people, like 30 or something. The topic were really in depth and very highly quality oriented. So as a lawyer, I really loved it. But it was really on the first day in the afternoon in a small corner, and you could feel like the role of lawyers are much less, I would not say important, but
Regarded.
yeah,
Looked at.
have a less bigger role than
Okay.
in Europe, where we focus a lot on regulation, which is of course important. And actually, with Mika, we had a really important advantage actually to have had this regulation signed. But what we can see in Europe is more on the implementation. It takes a lot of time. For instance, in Belgium, the last time I checked, the FSMA is still not designated as the regulatory authority in Belgium, which is quite strange, I think, since MiCA became applicable already in December of last year. And if you don't have the regulatory authority nominated, well, how can exchanges actually ask for
License?
a license? Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and be regulated and operate under MiCA.
Yeah,
Then.
and
Yeah.
what we see is that very important companies are now regulated in Luxembourg, like Coinbase, Blockstream, and I think as a Belgium, it's such a pity that we don't have this kind of businesses coming here because it creates jobs, it creates, of course, they pay taxes, so it will be very beneficial for Belgium.
Mm-hmm. But it's not there yet. We are not there yet.
Not yet, not yet.
Not yet.
Soon,
Not yet.
soon,
Yes,
hopefully.
we hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
At one point, you mentioned that you were like the group of lawyers in a small room, but I was then thinking, but you mentioned a number 30, but that's small compared to the bigger crowd. But how big was the conference? Like
There were 30,000 people, I heard.
30,000.
Yes,
Oh my
maybe
God.
they were not
Okay.
like every day there, like 30,000, but what I read is that overall
Yeah.
there were 30,000 people who attended the conference.
Okay, so yes, indeed, 30 then makes a very small group of people then.
Yeah.
Okay, I
It was the
understand.
biggest
Yeah.
in the world, and also like a nice other first experiment is the first time in one day that the most people paid in Bitcoin.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
I don't remember the number, but we went to the stand to pay in Bitcoin. It was quite nice.
That's quite interesting because I just came back from the annual Ethereum conference, and payment is one of the big things for the moment.
In which country?
I went in France,
Okay.
but the annual Ethereum conference,
Mhm.
and payment is one of the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also linked to stable coins, I guess.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Indeed.
yeah.
About spending the cryptos. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Well, thank you. And if we jump indeed now on some topic like stablecoins, how do you see the role of stablecoins bridging into traditional finance and Bitcoin based on what you heard at the conference?
Well, the first thing I want to say is what I said to lawyers last year is when you see the reaction of Tether, which is the company having the USDT as stablecoin, we can see now that there is a Washington effect and not a Brussels effect. And that's really changed a lot when we see how Brussels was the center of the world when they adopted the GDPR. So in 10 years, we can see that geopolitically, there is really a switch. And the rules actually, the market, not the rules, the market is really moving forwards. Here in Europe, I'm not an expert on stable coins, but what I have read is that the European Central Bank is not really promoting stable coins. So we will see how the future will be. But for sure, there is a Washington effect, and we might be more a follower than a leader in that topic.
Okay. Okay. And when you were at the US conference, do they talk about EU? Or they?
No, not at all. Honestly, there was actually it's good that you mention it because they were mentioning India, China, Asia, even South America, and of course North America. But really, they didn't speak about the EU. Like I went to a conference, a speech by the Trump's brothers. The fears of the voice of Eric Trump really impressed me. It shows how enthusiastic it is about Bitcoin and the more general digital assets ecosystem. And he was comparing countries, and at no moment did he mention Europe.
Europe. I think we are not really into the game. We are not bringing a lot of value to the evolution of the ecosystem. So it may be that they don't consider us? Because you have, as you said, like South America is adopting for other reasons, like instability, economical instability. In Asia, they're much more advanced technologically, so they also adopt new technology faster than any other continents. In Europe, it's true we are a bit conservative. We don't spend much on. We do spend on innovation, but I don't know where does it lead in the end. So yes, we are a bit behind, I feel.
We will see how the future brings. But
Yes.
what I hope, and that's what I'm trying in my life, is to explain Bitcoin and how it can help our lives as citizens, but as well as countries in Europe where we face many challenges. It can be a tool, a
Yeah.
useful tool for us.
So when you came back from the conference, did your perspective on Bitcoin has changed?
I realized that I think Europe is still not discussing about it. Since the conference now, I really, like I said before, I really want to explain more Bitcoin to people and understand it better and see it as a tool.
Okay. Okay, that's great that you came back with that confidence to bring it forward. And we mentioned a little already, like how Europe could position themselves in the future. But where do you see the European Bitcoin scene heading in the next few years after this experience in the US?
I know that in France there is a research on how Bitcoin mining might be useful for the electricity grid. And we have seen that in Texas it has helped a lot the grid, the stabilization of the grid, as well as lowering the price. Since Europe is really into moving forward with renewable energy, and we want quicker transition to renewable energy, I think Bitcoin mining can be again a useful tool. And we have seen recent reports that are explaining it in much more positive way, in a way, because before it was quite negative. And now we have much more data. For instance, Bhutan, we have seen what they have done with their hydroelectricity, and that helped them move forward and strengthen the country. So maybe it will come from Bitcoin mining. And actually, I went to a panel about Bitcoin mining, and it was Daniel Batten.
Yeah.
We recently made a video with l'Institut National du Bitcoin en France.
Yes.
And it's him that mentioned the future of mining will be in Europe. So
Okay.
I think it's a way forward, and we might see interesting thing here.
And why would you say that it would be in Europe?
Because in Europe, electricity is quite expensive, so people are getting really innovative on how to be able to mine in Europe, as well as something that is not mentioned often about Bitcoin mining is that it can also produce heating.
Yes.
And in Europe, since heating is quite expensive as well, Bitcoin mining can be a tool to help in that the production of heating.
Okay, it's very interesting because then it would be like a balance. It's bringing finance resilience, but also helping on the environment.
Yes.
So it's really finding the right balance between those two components. It's
Yes.
okay, very interesting. Thank you for sharing. So you mentioned also you attended the women's brunch at the conference, and you mentioned that it was really inspiring to already meet women there. Would you advise any woman to travel even solo to that big events and maybe find out about different activities already?
Yes, really. Actually, like we met a Belgian guy. Well, it was not a woman, it was a guy, but he came alone.
Okay.
And we clicked it very well, and we stay with him. I think everyone is really open-minded, really open to share ideas, experiences, and if you I will definitely go to the women's branch because first, I think it's really awesome to meet Natalie Brunel. The work she's doing is really amazing, and it's a way also to discuss topics that are dear to women.
That's cool. That's very nice to be surrounded, yeah, at that table with other women
Yeah.
and be in that ecosystem, but also be able to talk about the different angles, as you said, as
Yes,
being,
and
yeah.
actually, like Senator Loomis came to talk with us. There was also the mother of Roos Ulbricht,
Okay,
you
okay,
know, who made a
yeah, yeah.
speech, and it was really emotional. And he
Wow.
explained like how it was and how he is moving forward now. And it was also nice to have a speech about her experience as a mother.
Yes, yeah, indeed.
And the last speech I thought also was nice. It's a woman. I don't remember her country, but she was from South America, and she is helping girls in El Salvador that had been in sex trafficking or they were in very dangerous situation and trying to take them out of the streets. And it's really the Bitcoin community that has helped many girls. And she talked about the organization, how it works, and everything. And again, when I come back to the diversity of topics, that was also one of the topic where often we speak about Bitcoin, about the price
Yeah.
and whether it's a speculative asset or not. And at that conference, you see Bitcoin is much, much more than that. And being able to listen in a small gathering the speech of this woman and with his daughter, because her daughter is also helping her, is it's really inspiring, you know.
It's very nice to hear because it's something that I felt also this year at the Ethereum conference in France is that we didn't talk about price. I talked to different kind of engineers, builders, or people willing to get into the space or already working from different department into the space. But we didn't like talk about like how to make quick money, you know? It was
Exactly.
not about that.
No,
It was
and
really about different values, like as you said, how can we make a world better? We didn't have that saying, but we had like, how can we like build better privacy online use? How can we do this? So it was more about how to do something, and then using the different tools, like decentralized tools. But yeah, it was not about pricing. And apparently, Vitalik, in his speech, also mentioned that we need to focus on purpose and not being in a race, but more about building something meaningful. So and to focus on that and come back to that. So it's I think it's part of the ecosystem as well.
yeah, and I think you mentioned a word very important, building. I
Yeah.
think this conference was about building.
Okay.
Building a network, building a better product. It was really organized, and it was really about builders. And
But
when you
this is what is inspiring as well. It's when you're part of the creation of something.
exactly, and
It's
their energy was just amazing and so much positivity, you know.
yeah. Yeah, because you hope for the best.
Yeah.
And you're willing like to address different current challenges and try to find other ways to build. Yeah, yeah, that's very inspiring. Thank you. Is there like three takeaways that you would like to share coming back from this conference?
Yes, of course. Three takeaways. I'm coming back to women. We sometimes lower ourselves. And when we go to that kind of conference and you meet people that open-minded and willing to listen, and it really help you gain confidence. It's actually what I had felt that after the conference, I knew more about Bitcoin. I knew more people. I can still reach now to people if I have questions, and that build confidence. The second is the energy, because here in Europe sometimes, and especially in Belgium, and I live now in Wallonia, you have sometimes this negativity and a bit. You can be a bit demotivated sometimes.
Yes.
So going there gives you so much more energy and to move forward, be positive, and if you face challenges, just find a solution and move forward. That I loved. I yes. And the last one is really about the fact that Bitcoin is much more than a price, and Bitcoin is very different than all other digital assets. It really is a crypto asset to generous, very unique. And I will advise everyone to learn more about it and
To do their own
to
research.
do their own research.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We started there as well, no? You started also by studying a bit, researching. What would be your advice on where to find some information? Read the white paper.
Read the right paper. Yeah, maybe a good start. Books, I think now, and there is for sure, that's a part we didn't discuss actually, but there is a language barrier.
Yes, true.
A lot are in English,
And technical.
technical English. But more and more American books are translated in French. So there is this book, The Bitcoin Standard. I would for sure advise it to read it. The book of Natalie Brunel, Bitcoin for Everyone. I would also suggest to follow Lean Alden. She recently wrote a book that has been translated in French. So for sure, books and as well as podcast.
Yeah.
I think since 5 years, I'm really watching videos often on YouTube, and you learn so much.
Indeed, and I also learned a lot on the different exchanges. They have their own library of terms and glossary and explanation and their own academy, online academy. So this is somewhere where you have like a raw education content without any opinion, but just indeed it's a bit technical, but at least you get the point of the decentralization on what does it mean and how does it work. So for me, it was really helpful as well to go on those library of terms.
Actually, I created a website called Novcoin, and there I wrote a lexic with all the terms, with the definition, as well as materials that can help people to learn about Bitcoin. So that's a bit my takeaway
Okay,
from the conference, this
perfect.
website,
Yeah.
where information notes to educate more people about Bitcoin.
It's great when you can go somewhere, get inspired, and then convert it into something that you build further. So it's very inspiring. So where are we going next if we want to attend a Bitcoin conference?
So I don't know it's really the next one because I think it will be in Asia. But in November, you have one in Amsterdam, which is really close from Belgium. So I would advise anyone to go there because you have panels, of course, where you can learn different topics. But there is also this booth area where you have companies involved in the Bitcoin ecosystem, so you can also learn a lot there.
Yeah, so it's nice to go because you go for the panel, you go for the networking, and you meet the industry and you can make your own opinion then.
Exactly. It will be 2 intense days, but worthy days.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you very much, Florence, for being here today and for sharing with us all your insights from this trip in the US and about all your journey in this space. I'm very happy that we were able to host you and to listen